Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you? It's that time of year. I'm happy to see all your faces. We've got a nice group that's gathering this evening. I am sharing my little screen here just for a moment, and then I'll click into our gallery. Just wanted you to see um, the intention of the evening, which is really captured so beautifully in this quote at the bottom. Are you seeing my screen, by the way?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, good.
Mm.
This is a photograph, and one of the things we'll be doing this evening is capturing moments of awe and joy across the year. So I do this every year with myself, and now we'll do this together as a group, and I think you'll have a really nice time. So part of the evening is on reflection, and part of it is on, gathering that beautiful positive energy from the reflection we do to step into the beginning of a new year. So this is a photograph I took on the coast of Maine at dawn. I love the image of dawn and new beginning. It's a photograph I took on the edge of the ocean. It was just a beautiful morning, and I happened to have been gathering there with a group. We call ourselves the Camino Sisters, and it's basically a group of women that 3 years ago, I think it is now, we walked a part of the Camino together, and we get together now annually. These women are members of 333. Many of you know some of them, maybe not all of them. But anyway, so this is a particularly beautiful morning. But the quote, I want to just start us off and just say, I'm just so happy that you're here today. In the spirit of this quote, I want us to hold on. I'm getting people coming in. I want to make sure I don't leave them in the waiting room too long. Okay, here we go. So, in the spirit of this quote that says something I think we all need to remind ourselves as we pause here this evening, and hopefully you pause at times, maybe when there's extra stress, or maybe there's just extra joy. You pause to reflect, but also to give yourself some grace when there are times when you're not sure what's going on in your life or you're not sure what's ahead. And we've certainly had a dose of that in the last year. But Sophia Bush said, "You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress." So that is sort of the essence of how I want to start this evening.
Yes.
For you to take that in. Take that in. One of the things that's so interesting in this is a rare time in the year. I call it between the years. And it's that time when the days are between celebrations. We've had beautiful holidays and hopefully gatherings. Some of us I know have had illnesses the gatherings come flu season. So there's been just a mix of things, but I think it's this really beautiful time for us to pause so we can reflect and think about what this past year actually held and to let this guide us as we step forward. So, what we're going to do tonight is really going to be fun. We're going to look at our camera rolls, and within that, most of us have our calendars, and we're going to look back. Hold on, we have another person coming in. We're going to look back at the moments that were beautiful, that held some sense of awe, whether they be in nature or as we gathered with loved ones or just had this beautiful moment, like the moment I showed you of my sunrise on the ocean. Um, so we're going to really take time to do that, but we're also going to do a few other things. The first thing I want to think about is um, I think we're increasingly seeing more and more people say, no resolutions. This is not a time of resolutions. This is a time for us to reflect on meaning and to go in. Um, So it's interesting, it's probably, I think I did a little research on the history. I think it's been New Year's resolution haven't been happening for thousands of years. People have marked the new year with intention, but not these, oh my God, I got to get better at this kind of resolutions. I got to lose weight. I got to stop eating sugar. I got to exercise. All of those types of things we've layered on as the culture has gotten more rewarding for productivity, and we've become these human doings instead of human beings. And as I say, welcome new people. I'm popping in. I'm just so happy to have you all here this evening. So I hope you haven't missed too much. Um, so we've lived long enough. I like to say, after 50 plus years on this planet, we've lived long enough to say that resolutions don't do us well. We don't enjoy them. And I'm betting every single one of you has some sort of a ritual or a process. And I'm hoping that the one we do tonight might be one you adopt not just at the new year, but that you regularly take time to pause for yourself and reflect. Um, when we pay attention, when we're aware of the miracles around us, oh my gosh, it's just life-giving and energizing. And there's a line that I also want to lead in with right now from Rilke. Um, Instead of thinking about how we're supposed to be better and what we're supposed to try to achieve. If we can all also take off our microphones, put them on mute because I'm hearing some buzzing, um, and my little brain is trying to focus here. So, um, so I think that we have to try to give ourselves grace, but as Rainer Maria Rilke said, try to be patient with all that is unresolved in your heart. Tonight's about allowing us all to embrace possibility and not focus on what's swirling around us in the world, in our culture, in the weather, in friends' lives that are close to us. And today is about having us focus on what is giving us joy and energy, not which is draining us. So, what we'll do, and I'm hoping you all have handy either a mobile phone or a calendar or both. Raise your hand if you do not, because I want to give you a moment to grab it. Lynn Davis is in a car, so you're going to have to do, you're an artist, so you can do this. You're going to have to do sort of a mental flashback to your year, because I don't want you running off the road. Um,
Yeah,
so,
Daddy.
okay, promise? Okay, wonderful. We normally go around the room and say each other's names and a little bit about each other, but tonight we're going to do things a little differently because what I'm going to have you do is take some time on your own. You can mute yourself, you can turn off your video if you like, but I'd like you to take some time, open your camera roll, and as you scroll, pick one or two photos each month. And if you had a month that you didn't have great memories of, skip it. But offer yourself some time to say, okay, what were the moments that I had a sense of awe? If you've been on any of my Zooms, I mention awe almost every moment because to me it is life affirming. There's a fantastic book called Awe, The New Science of Everyday Wonder and How It Can Change Your Life. And awe takes so many forms. It's most recognized at moments when you look up in the sky and you see the aurora borealis, or you see a rainbow, or you see the way the light is in the leaves. Natural awe is huge. There's also collective effervescence awe, it's harder to feel on Zoom, but I've gotten used to Zoom like many of us have. Um, so there are all sorts of awe moments, but they tend to be moments when we stand back and we can actually feel our jaw drop sometimes when we see somebody doing something so heroic or so beautifully kind to a stranger, those kinds of things. So you may not have all those on your phone, but you'll have moments that are joyful. And I also am going to add to all moments to spot moments where there was a revelation or an aha or almost like time stopped, and you snapped a photo. And even if it's not in your camera roll, there may be moments. I'm looking around the room. Joy Fox has just finished her book, Finding Joy, ironically, here. And so there's got to have been an aha moment when you really reconnected with your story. So maybe you think about that. So just do that a bit. Glance through, pick a few. And if you have a piece of paper handy, also, I should have mentioned that. Jot down not a whole description of every photo, but you might say January snowball fight. I'm just making stuff up, but jot down a few titles. And then what I'd like to do, I'm going to give you about 8 minutes. It's a good amount of time because most of us take a lot of photos. 8 minutes to pick one or two if you have to. It's hard to pick and write about it. Select this image. It's not going to be the most beautiful photo unless you're Sky Bergman and you're a photographer, or Tanya. I think Tanya Boggs. Yeah, unless you're a photographer, that might be an intersection of choice. But one that carries the strongest energy, positive energy for you amid all of the craziness of the year. So I'm going to put us on mute. Take that time and look at the photos, pick one, and you should have time to reflect on it a little bit. Bring it back in your head. People used to make fun of me throughout my life because I always had a camera on me. And they just said, "Oh my gosh, Diana, you're always taking pictures." And I said, "Oh my gosh, when I'm in my 80s and 90s, I'm going to relive my life through my photos." So that's what we're going to do for this year. Um, Anyone have any questions before I mute myself and do it with you? All good? What we'll do after this is we'll have a little conversation with each other about it, and people will briefly share. Not everyone has to share, but might briefly share something. Not only something that was obviously joyful, but something that might have surprised them about this year. And I think there will be a lot of surprise. My hope is there will be a lot of surprise because I know many of you have been struggling across the year with a lot of the uncertainty and fear swirling around us. So you might be surprised at how much joy that didn't get focused on, maybe as much as I'm asking you to do tonight. So enjoy. I'll call you in about 7 minutes now. Okay. Okay, let's wind down. I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. Even if you've only got until June, hopefully there'll be
I
one.
only got till April. I need like 8 more minutes.
Well, this is what you're doing tonight after you hang up, babe.
Exactly.
Love it. It's it's so much fun to look for joy, right? Okay. So I'm sorry to do this to you. And by the way, I've been glancing around at the windows, and there are a number of women that I haven't seen for quite a while. Eve Gordon, gosh, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you since our Quest event in Rhode Island. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're doing well. Um, so I'm not going to set it up in breakout rooms because uh, this isn't something where we all have to necessarily raise our hands and share. But what I want to do is open this up to the group, and um, you can't share your photo readily and easily, unfortunately. But if you can describe the photo, if anybody wants to share, um, and why did it matter? And and what emotions lived inside of it? I mean, there could be like 10 different emotions. Um, what energy does it give you? If you can describe that. And um, does it remind you of possibility looking forward? So even if you just say why it mattered and what it was, that'd be a great share. So anybody want to get us started? Go ahead, Talek. You'll have to unmute yourselves if you muted.
Okay, can
There
you hear
you
me
go.
now?
Yes.
Okay, I had two, so I'm going to go very, very quickly. One is January, February, when I took a tour with people to Cuba with our Bras for Babes initiative, bringing donations to Cuba, and the faces of the people that received our donations, not just bras, but medicine, all sorts of donations.
Mm.
It just filled us, talk about joy, to be able to share that with them. That made me very, very happy. And another one is
Well,
in,
can I stop you there?
sure.
So obviously you felt joy. Were there any other emotions that you can describe? Maybe them, but also those of the women that came and brought the donations.
I guess they were surprised. I didn't know what to expect. And that was, I guess, the biggest one. The people were very grateful. They took us on a tour of their establishments. This particular one was a senior citizen center. They showed us the therapy room
Nice.
and took us around the place and showed us how different people have different processes that are recommended to them by the doctor. Things like that that nobody really knew. Nobody really understood what existed, and they just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
And
you had like a
that
deeper
was
level of connection. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, what was your other?
The other one is that in New York City, my husband and I recreated our first kiss, our first date on 52nd Street and Broadway, and that was 42 years ago. And we just love that photograph. And we took a stranger off the street and said, take a picture of us kissing, and it was just fun. It was great.
Oh my God, that is fantastic.
So romantic.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
Well, if there's any way, I'm going to do a little follow-up because there's so many women that wanted to come tonight that were unable to. So I'm recording this. I hope that that's okay with everyone. I'm not going to share it wildly on the internet. I'll share it within 333. But if you feel like you want to share any of your photos that you talk about tonight, that would be
Great
really
idea.
fun.
I'll be happy to do so.
Awesome. Anybody else have a photo and an experience they want to share?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Awesome.
But I guess the biggest one this year was, and it involved a number of emotions, was simply getting published over the Christmas holiday. Um, when I came back from Iceland for my 90th birthday, I got a call from an editor that I have followed online. She's a writer and a very accomplished woman. And she said, how are you doing with your book? And I said, well, I'm kind of on the edge, I don't know what to do next. So she worked with me, and it's been a very emotional time since that, mid October until now. And I've cried a lot, and I don't know. I've laughed a lot. I've been down. I've been up. So I've had every emotion I think there is in the book. But right now, just having this in my hand from yesterday, it just arrived yesterday, my first copy. I don't know what to do with myself because I'm just so happy now, and it's reached number one on two sections in Amazon, the oral history and
Good for
the
you.
memoir of childhood. So those are, it's reached number one in just 2 or 3 days. And I've had so much wonderful feedback on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I don't know how to keep them because I'm starting on book two and I want to use some of those quotes, and I can't seem to do the screenshots successfully. So uh,
Oh my
just
God.
another learning curve. And that was just one thing. But I had a great
Oh, wait, let's just
grandson.
stay on that for a second.
All right, all right.
Okay. Like everyone sitting here, some of you know Joy. She's been part 333 for almost a year now. And I discovered her because of a BBC article about the moment. Um, but let's all just, I've noticed all these hearts coming up, but just let's all look at her and smile at her and say, Joy. Joy.
Joy.
I mean, oh my gosh, your mother named you aptly. That's for sure. So
Well,
thank you.
yeah, I know why she named me Joy because she'd lost two babies, and I was the third girl. So, and
Wow.
that's in the book. That part's in the book. So, I think that her heart was so full of joy that I looked like a healthy baby, and was screaming blue murder. That she named me Joy, and I'm very glad she did because it's come in handy in many occasions, and especially at this time of year. You know, I have to live up to it at Christmas.
Yeah, well, do you find that obviously the moment, but holding on to that energy as you move forward is going to be what it's all about. One of the things that's so
Yeah.
cool for those of you that are aware of the Chinese Year of the Snake, which was 2025, and 2026 is the Year of the Horse.
Mhm.
And I loved this analogy I saw on a lot of people's articles over the last few days is that um, we've got to shed the skin that no longer fits us, the emotions, the stuff, the fears we've got to let go and embrace new possibility. Now, Joy, you're a great example of someone who does that. But I just use you as an example for, holding on to that as you encounter challenge moving forward.
Yeah, it's encouraged me to go forward. Now I'm working on the sequel, book two. So I've over the Christmas I've done quite a bit of work on that. So
Wow.
I'm happy to go forward with the rest of the story because that was just a little part up till immigration through the war years. So from then there's a lot of things happened since then, which I'm now writing about and putting into print for the first time. So it's as if I've shed a skin. I'm not holding on to that or those bad memories anymore. They're,
Oh,
as far as I'm concerned, they're out there. I've thrown them out there, and whatever people think, they think. It's
beautiful. It's
so
beautiful.
it's
Well
getting
said.
rid
I
of it.
can't wait. I have ordered your book. I can't wait to get in my
Oh,
house.
thank you.
Amy.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely. I'm
Thank you.
looking at Amy Colette's smile so broadly because Amy works with women to unleash their inner author, and you clearly are unleashed. But I just see her smiling in acknowledgement of how that can be. And I'm also looking at you, Eve, not to get off our topic, but Eve, is your book in the world now?
Not yet. It's my editor tells me it's going to be in the world July 1st.
Oh, fantastic.
Um, Working towards that. That's you said, setting a goal for the year. I'm very close to my last rewrite. And then I mean, when you think about a book, I don't think anybody realizes how many writes and rewrites. And
Yeah.
I see Joy shaking her head.
Yeah,
It's like, oh
yeah.
my God.
I know.
But Joy, I have to tell you, you're a real inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Really.
Oh, I love this. So, does anyone else have a photo moment that they have? Maybe one of the things I think that's so cool about the way our brains work and memory works. I talk a lot and I'm beginning to talk a lot more about aha moments, those moments that some are eureka moments, some are, wake up call moments, some are just the distillation of things that come. But there's something about when we look back in our memories, even without a camera, there are moments that we remember almost like they're a little video swirling in our heads, the precise light, what we were wearing, whoever we were with was saying. So at any rate, so does anybody else have anything that a photo or a moment? Amy, you're mute, by the way.
Yeah, this was a fun exercise. And congratulations, new authors. It's always so exciting. And Joy, it's that moment when you get your first book or your first box of books. It's just, I
I'm so
remember crying
excited.
projectile tears, of happiness when I That's
I
what I
know.
want for all the authors I work
Red
with. So
eyes.
yeah, so the congratulations. It's a big, big moment, and we're
Thank
all
you.
happy for you. So yeah, looking through my photos, I had an idea of the one I was looking for. And when I found the photo, it's a photo of this beautiful kind of rocky beach on a river with these trees, deciduous trees across the other side of the river. And the photo honestly doesn't look like that much. But like you said, when it was beautiful, it was at sunset. I remember it as being like absolutely cinematic,
Mm,
just beautiful blue sky and the colors changing in the clouds because it was sunset. And so I'll set the scene for you. It was at a retreat I was facilitating, and we were doing this kind of ritual on the beach, on this rocky beach, and it had gone much deeper than myself and my co-facilitator had thought that these women were ready for. But
mm,
they were so ready. They were just awakening and opening at such a fast pace that we had to really kind of keep up with this. And this ritual went really deep, and people got so much out of it. And it was this just real blessing to all of us.
mm.
And as we were sitting there, on the beach, getting ready to do this ritual, an eagle flew over,
Oh, wow.
a bald eagle, right above that line of trees. It just made it really did make it like a movie. And then later, during the middle of our ceremony, another eagle flew by. Same trajectory. It was just magical. None of us got a real photo of it because it
But
just
it's
happened so
always going to be there.
quickly. Right. Yeah. It's this movie in my mind. Right. And then my co-facilitator, who's also a dear friend of mine, she was kind of the last to get the benefit of this ritual. We were laying hands on each other, which was just really magical. And so I got to lay my hands on her, and right as I was about to do that, she was putting her head down like this to close her eyes, and a blue heron, which
Oh,
is her spirit animal,
wow.
was flying
Wow.
over. So I had to tap her and point up so to make sure that she saw it, because it was just such a moment. You can't make this stuff up, you know?
You gave me goosebumps just imagining it. That's fantastic.
Right. So it
Oh,
was it was really, really beautiful. So that just holds such a beautiful memory of joy and connection and this deep spiritual work that we were all doing together, and how much more amazing it was that we got to experience this together as a group.
oh, wow. So tell me, I just noticed you wrote in the chat, when I said it was the year of the horse, you added it's actually the year of the fire horse. So
Yes.
is that something that you want to just give us
It's
a
something
quick?
that I just found out. I watched uh, some Instagram reel about it, but it was from a Chinese medicine person who was talking about the difference between a fire horse. I mean, brings real power. We love that connection with the horse and the kind of depth that horses bring us, and that human horse connection, especially with women, it seems like is so deep. But the fire horse just brings this additional amount of power and opportunity for us this year. So I thought that was worth mentioning.
Hmm.
Wow.
If
So,
anybody else knows more about that, please chime in, because I'm no expert on that.
well, it's sort of wonderful coming from your description of this moment because it is often the natural world's miracles, just
Yes.
like the beautiful birds flying above or something that nature gives us. I posted something on a reel on Instagram or something today of this guy he was on a sailboat or a boat, and all of a sudden you see the roiling water and like
Yeah.
six whales came up. And, I was like, is it AI? No, I don't think it is. But, those kinds of things send us signals, I think, but definitely give us goosebumps and definitely the neurological boost of
Yeah.
being in nature we can carry that with us, even if we're not, even if we're in the concrete jungle in a miserable, smoggy day, we can remember that beautiful walk through the pine forest or that rocky beach. And that can get close to bringing us back. If we just decide that that's the energy we want to take through a tough time. Um, and now that we know it's the year of the fire horse, I mean, we've just got to embrace the possibility of all of that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Very exciting. Anybody else have a photo or moment they want to share with us? Gail.
Hi, everybody. So I forgot I even had that this photo would show up first, but it's actually a screenshot that I took of my dog.
Oh.
Second, the light went out of his eyes, and we put him down. And I have that forever. And it was really profound because the intense grief that I felt in that moment and even still feel really only it just reflects the joy, that he brought to me for 15 years. And
Mm.
that joy never leaves, even though he did in his physical form. I could cry just talking about it, but that was the photo that I wanted to share about.
Well, what a beautiful thing to remind yourself that you have the ability to flip and look for the positive rather than dwell on the sadness of that moment. I mean, that's something we've learned over the years of being on this earth. It's like that's the way we have to decide to be if we can. We can allow ourselves grief for sure, and there are moments where it's intense, but we also have to look I like to say this because, I had a moment where I didn't know if I was going to continue to walk this planet. But I just remember saying, you know what? No matter how much piles up on top of me, the simple blessing of what I have had and what I have experienced is joy. You know, we're going to talk a lot about you tonight, Joy. Thank you for sharing that, Gail. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Dot, 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 dot. Yeah, Melissa, I knew you'd come in there. You had lots of moments this year.
Yeah, it was hard to pick one. But I want to see if anybody can, I want you to see it just for the color.
Okay.
If
Oh, wow.
I don't know if,
Yes.
can
Yeah.
you see?
Is that Norway or something?
Is it Canada?
Yes, Canada.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yes. It's Lake Louise up that way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was invited to screen my film in Calgary in June. And so John, my husband, and I went up and we did that. And we did all the fun stuff in Calgary. And then we took time and we went up to Banff. And I had never been to Banff. He had been, 40, 50 years ago. And he said, "Oh, you're not going to believe it." And I was, yeah, it's just going to be mountains. And yeah, I get it. Well, as we were driving up, it was one of these beautiful sunny days with the bright blue sky, and the big mountains just started getting bigger and bigger with snow on the top. And it was just like, wow, amazing to drive into Banff. The next day, we got in the car and we went up to the lakes. There was nobody around but us. For whatever reason, we got out of the car and we started walking up this long hiking trail so that we could get to the viewpoint to see some of the lakes. And there was no one there. And it was pitch quiet, nothing happening at all. Just all this beauty. Like it was overwhelming. We got to the top and then boom, this turquoise blue lake that was surrounded by these snow-capped, jagged, crazy mountains were just there. And we just stood there holding hands. And I remember feeling, and I felt my chest because my heart was kind of fluttering. And I remember thinking, oh my God, there, this is what's going on. This is real. We need to take time to see this. And then, like Amy, the weirdest thing happened in slow motion. A large eagle came flying across right in front of us. And it was almost like he knew to slow himself down. It was like he was just swooping along right in front of us. No people, no sound, this beauty and this eagle. And I thought, I just felt more hopeful than I had felt all year so far.
Mm,
It was amazing.
wow, it's beautiful. It's like we all talk about how we're always in a rush and time is moving so fast, but we can slow it down by paying attention to each
Yeah.
moment. Doesn't have to be as extraordinary as that even to be able to do that. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Anybody else have a moment or a photo they want to talk about a little bit? Ellen, I think I know what yours is going to be.
Well, first I want to reflect a little bit on the exercise because we've done this before, and I kind of have mixed thoughts on um, all the photos that I have, and I don't know about all of you, are all really happy. They're all beauty. They're all friends. They're family. They're all pretty things. I don't think we take photos of accident. I mean, there's a photo of me and my gallbladder surgery scars, but it's funny how that's kind of beautiful to have that as a collection for each month and each year. So for me, looking at all that, that's the meaning for me for my life is family, friends, and nature. Um, I took my mom on a surprise trip when I was visiting her in the Netherlands. She was 92 last year, February, and we took her to an alpaca farm for high tea. And I mean, I've got about 50 photos of her just enjoying. It was super fun just to have these big heads coming around. It was, 20 alpacas with high tea and straw and hay and kernels for us to feed them. It was a blast. And she didn't really want to go. She didn't know where she was going. She didn't really want to go and ended up saying, "Why are we going? It's so far and we should have eaten something." And it was all this stuff and then we just saw how joyful she was. Another one that stood out was, of course, my daughter was pregnant back in January, and she was doing a surprise gender reveal. So I have a video of that with the spray and the gold and pink thingies that come out, the confetti, the heart-shaped confetti, and so that's it's just joy. It's just great.
Oh,
And
that's-
yeah, I just said goodbye to my granddaughter yesterday. They were here for 2.5 weeks. So I've got about 500 photos of her. She's
I
six
bet you.
months now. And, that's just life and it's beautiful.
Mm.
Thanks. Mhm.
I love what you brought up, which is, yeah, we commonly, I mean, a lot of the internet is capturing moments of horror and pain and fails and all of that. But what we tend to capture are those, snapshots of the beautiful moments, which is helpful. I think, um, yeah. So anyone else want to share? Yeah, go ahead, Deb, and then Tanya after that. You know what? We can't hear you, Deb. You're unmuted, but maybe you have another little microphone around.
Choose, get somebody else.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The moments, I like what Ellen, you can't hear me? Ellen? You sound very far away. You know what? My microphone's, hold on. I'll turn you up. It's on the floor. My microphone's on the floor.
You got it.
First of all, I have to say what I'm so grateful to be invited into this group. You guys are awesome.
Oh.
The pictures. So I had a couple of pictures and a little bit about Gail and Ellen and to take off about what everybody was just talking about the grief that we don't capture in pictures.
and how fleeting the moment is when we want to capture a picture. So we want that beauty. We capture, the interaction between mother and child, or husband and wife, or the reenacting a kiss, a first kiss. It's the moment that we want to capture, to hold dear, that brings us joy. And the two pictures, and I so appreciate that, the two pictures that I chose, one was a cardinal, bright red, sitting in a hemlock tree outside of our dining room in Maine. And the brightness of that male cardinal just against the snow and the hemlock and holding onto the frozen branch, and it doesn't look real. And the other one was a picture of my son, and it was his birthday, December 27th. So there were pictures that the family was sharing, and that you can feel joy and grief at the same time. That the picture can bring that, the grief that he's not here, and the joy that the family was sharing, hit the funny stories, the funny pictures, and that we do it every year. We send out a happy birthday text at noontime, Eastern Standard Time, and then the whole family just recounts funny stories and funny things, and so it can be both, right? The joy and the sadness and the grief. So this is a great exercise, Diane. I love it. I've loved it. So.
Well, Deb, and thank you for sharing that. And thank you for what you have created as a beautiful ritual with your family. Losing a pet, a human, a loved one is immeasurably, powerfully grief filled. I lost my nephew, and I remember in the years, and it happened to be on my birthday, which was especially poignant for me because as I was celebrating with a cake and my loved ones around me, I got the call. But what we do now is just, we always find pictures. We always talk, we keep people and moments alive.
Yeah.
Let's believe in the continuum of life in some ways. And there is some connection we have in those times. So
yeah, always connection. I think always connection.
Thank you.
Can I just say something about grief and animals? I lost my cat in July and I miss her terribly. And today some friends bought me this to put in the garden. And that's a real moment because I've got her ashes, so I'm going to make a place in the garden for her. And I always write a poem when I've lost an animal, and I've lost several. And Gail, when I lost my dog, I wrote a poem immediately after, and I'm going to put it in my second book. I came across it, and it's all about the last look in those eyes, and the last moments. I can certainly understand what you're going through. Yeah. It's a big thing.
Well, thank you.
It's very special to come to the door today. So
that's very kind and generous friends. Tanya, you have a moment, a photo, or 5
well, first, I just want to add on what Deb was talking about is that I think my work before I became the photographer I am now, I got a MFA degree, and my work that I was working on at the time is the sort of that edge of the double edge, of the two sides of the coin of beauty and sorrow, because they're connected. The things that are beautiful are fleeting, right? And so we appreciate the beauty knowing that it won't always be there. And it's why we try to capture those beautiful photos. And I think just acknowledging that idea that grief and joy and grief and beauty can exist in the same space, because they're basically on the same coin. They're just different sides of it. So that was, I just thought that was a great discussion. I didn't pick just one picture. What caught me in my January through April and I remember a big moment in July, is that I did a lot of new things that I didn't remember that I had done. And so
Mm.
it's this sort of look back on, oh God, I did that. That was a new thing. Oh, that I did that. That was a new thing for me. Oh, I did that. That was a new thing for me. And and it brought me to, my birthday in July, when on July 1st, I had just in June made the decision to become bi-coastal. I jumped on a plane July 1st and arrived at my daughter's, and stayed with her for a couple of months as I traveled back and forth to work. Got my apartment in September, but I woke up on my birthday, was on the 2nd of July, and she lives on the campus of Pathfinder Ranch where she works. And it was summer camp. And even though she's not directly involved with summer camp, they had set up the what do you call it when you slide across the cable? I'm really tired. Sorry, I haven't slept
Oh,
well.
zip line.
Zip line.
Zip line. So she's like, the kids went zip lining and they're about to pack up everything. Do you want to go zip line? And I was like, I would love to go zip line on my birthday. And she lives on this beautiful farm area where they have alpacas and horses and pigs and chickens and goats and all kinds of things. And so just arriving in the space where she had moved to at the job where she works, and she's so happy because I hadn't been able to see her. She had moved about a year before that. She'd come home multiple times. I discovered through looking in here. She was home in January. She was home in April. She was home and then we were together for Christmas and stuff. And I live close to her now. But um, just thinking about that day on my birthday and doing something new again, and what a beautiful way it was to sort of land and start to get grounded here in California. And so mostly it's just filled with the gratitude on all the things that have kind of unfolded this year and all the new things I did that I have, now that I look back, I'm like, I was waiting for this exercise. I knew this was going to happen. And I avoided my phone because I put little gratitudes on my tree. I cut out, none of my Christmas decorations are here. So I cut out little shapes of mittens and stockings and stars and all kinds of things. And I handmade them. And on the back of each one, I wrote something I was grateful for this year. And I usually go through my photos, but I was like, nope, I'm waiting for that day. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it sounds like you have about 12 more hours worth of doing that.
Yes.
One of the things that this exercise does is, all the things everybody's been saying, but one of the things I really, really feel is powerful about it as well is for you to recognize the energy and emotion of that you want to carry forward. And, the idea of like, I can do new stuff. I can take leaps of faith and do something really scary and it somehow will work out. And if it doesn't, I'll just switch it again,
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I'm seeing Cotland Oliver raised your hand, but I don't see you on the screen. Are you still there, my dear? Oh, yeah, you're up in the upper left. Yeah, I see you. Thank you so much, Tanya. That's really nice. Tutland, you're muted.
All right, here we are.
Hi.
Yes, how you doing?
Good.
Season's greetings to everyone. I am driving while I'm tuning in. That's why my camera is not on. But great stories, everyone. It's interesting that this is the exercise we come to meet today because um, a couple of days ago, in reflecting on my 2025 and as to how I'm gonna move ahead in 2026. I actually did a photo review.
Oh,
But
wow. So you're prepared.
yes, so I did the 12 months photo review and I discovered something that I never knew. I traveled 12 times for the year.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that I had done so much traveling. And my conclusion was, and there were very different reasons why I traveled each time between here and the Caribbean and so on. And what I concluded from all my pictures was that, and especially related to travel, was that was the year of just saying yes and
Ah,
just letting go of all the other stories I tell myself not to go ahead and go do whatever it is that I went ahead to do.
oh, I love it. The year of
So,
saying
yeah,
yes and believing.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
awesome.
That's what it was because literally every trip that I did since the first of the year, because like um like um like she just said about her birthday being somewhere July 1, on January 1 I was on a flight to New York just because I wanted to see Whoopi Goldberg in Annie the musical in New York. I just
Wow.
said yes. And it turned out that when I said yes, I was sitting like one or two rows from the stage,
Mm,
and where I had selected my ticket. I bought my ticket relatively last minute because I was, emming and awing. And the couple that sat beside me, they like had already purchased their tickets like for 5 times the amount of what I got my ticket for. And
wow.
I said, my goodness, look at this miracle of just saying yes, especially when you have that inner pull. Because I said, I've never seen an EGOT in live performance. Why not? Why not?
Wow.
And then a few months after that, I found myself traveling back and forth with regards to my mother being in hospital. I think I may have
Mm,
shared a little bit of that when I met you back in Washington,
yes,
which
yes.
was one of my trips. So, it's interesting that we're doing this exercise this way because revelations do come, and there has been really great moments of joy, a lot of aha moments. Too many to stay on this call with. So, yeah, that's my contribution.
Well, Tutlin, I hope I love you that you had that chance to do that for yourself already. But just like I'm sort of joking with Tanya that she's got hours to go, like this is a really interesting time of the year because we're in this space. Like maybe it's just this emotional space between celebrations, between years. And yeah, it's only a mark on a calendar. If we lived off the grid, we might not know when it was. But, the snow and ice, I know it's winter, but I think it's just such a beautiful time to slow down and allow ourselves to pause. Just how, my daughter always scolds me, let's call it, or schools me because I'm always taking photographs. She's like, Mom, be in the moment. So part of me says I'm capturing the moment so I can be in it a lot more. But one of the things that I'm going to try to do um, is hold on to these moments that I capture from my camera roll, and I hope you all do too. And I hope you all can nurture them, hold on to them. So I don't know that you all knew, but we had this scheduled till 7. So I'm hoping you can stay because we have a few more things I want to hear from other people. Talik does have to go. She's already left us. But does anyone else have a photo they want to talk about before we go to a sort of a more of a closing discussion in this last half hour? Go ahead, Kelly. I'm so glad
Yep.
you made it. I know it was challenging for tonight.
Oh, no, happy to be here. Thank you. Well, mine kind of follows Tanya's theme. It wasn't so much one photo. It was a year of firsts and a year of new things. For those of you I met, I just started my entrepreneurship in a new business. So starting that was brand new. So I was just looking back at like pictures of my business cards and like all the firsts that I was doing. And then it was things like personal things where I had, a new friend and we signed up to do a 20-mile walk up the mountains here in North Carolina. And I have pictures of us accomplishing that. So that was huge for us. And then things like I went to a high school reunion. I don't think I've ever been to one. So I saw people, friends that I haven't seen for so many years, which was fun to look back on. And then we were talking about horses. I was at a retreat in North Carolina on the beaches, and we went to see the wild horses on the beaches, which was
Oh,
just breathtaking. And then there were their little babies were with them, and it was just phenomenal, like something I don't think I'll ever see again. Um, and then, you just get so caught up with, oh, I'm trying to start this new thing. I'm not good enough, or I'm busy and I'm looking forward. And this just provided the opportunity to stop and look back and look at all the good that happened this year. And then I'll end it with just last week. So I was with my brother was over and his family for Christmas, and he recently was diagnosed with lung cancer. And they caught it early enough that they were able to take a lobe out of his lung. It's amazing what science and doctors can do now. Took a lobe out of his lung. So he's fine now, completely fine. But I looked, and my sister-in-law had captured a picture of the two of us together, just with our arms around each other. And we're always in group photos. We're never in pictures together. And so I'm just so thankful that that picture was taken, because he's 12 years older than me. And to be able to have a picture of us now that I'll have forever, that just topped off all of my photos for the year. So,
wow.
yeah.
Wow, it's like a beautiful moment frozen in time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing, Jan, Connie, Karen, Tara, Lynn's still driving, Sue, Sky. Sky is another resident photographer, so I'm sure there are about 1 billion photographs you have. Do any of you wish to share something? Karen took her mute off. Does that mean you want to share? Maybe not.
Oh, me? Oh, my mute was still on.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm hoping you feel like sharing something. I'm sure there've been.
Okay. So sure. The photo I looked at was of myself and two girlfriends in Alberobello, Italy.
Mm.
I did a trip, part solo and part with some friends for my a big birthday. And it was just a beautiful place, and I felt this incredible spirit of adventure. Just kind of felt like teenagers going off and exploring and seeing these really ancient, beautiful thatched homes that have been there for centuries. And just, yeah, that spirit of wonder of being a stranger. I've always liked being a stranger in a strange land. It just gives me this sense of, yeah, wonder.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And then a picture of myself and my daughter, she's had some struggles this year. I mean, she's, been struggling with finding work, and she's neurodivergent. And then I was just looking at a picture of us in going into Boston for the holidays, and kind of bundled up and with a nice Christmas tree and hot chocolates in our hands. So those are the pictures that I picked.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's nice to see you, by the way.
Great to see you too. I missed you.
Miss you too. Anyone else want to chat at all? Share anything? I love these. I mean, I have a visual brain like a lot of us do, and I can see these images as you describe them with so much love. I'm so happy. Um, Anyone else before we go on to a fine? Oh, great, Jan. How are you, by the way?
I'm good, good. Thank you for
Awesome.
including me.
Awesome.
I picked up one of my pictures is a picture of my um, sister's a grave site. I have known all my life that I had a stillborn older sister,
Oh my.
and I don't know why I'd never gone, but I decided this past year that I really wanted to go visit her grave site. My parents are gone, and so my husband took me and we visited it, and it was very thought-provoking, um, to kind of
Oh,
grieve the sister I'd never met, as I'm choking up now, but
okay.
also to think about what it meant for my mother, especially, to lose a child back then. It was pretty common, I think, back then. And so I don't think that there was probably a lot of opportunity to grieve fully, publicly, whatever, to share that. And also just wondering how life would have been different had she not died and I was still born, and I was born, not still born, but but I was all like what it would have been to be like to have a bigger sister because I'm the oldest. So just lots of thoughts around that, and I don't know why, like I said, I chose this year to look at it for her.
Wow, that's beautiful that you did, though. I think there's got to be such a rush of emotions as you were there, all the, the things you missed, but the life you have. And the thank you for expressing, um, thanks for sharing that. That's really powerful.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Does anyone else have anything they would like to share? Connie, by the way, has a lack of voice today. So I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but we're sorry. I hope you heal and feel better soon, Connie. And it looks like Totland just came back in the room. I was afraid we'd lost you. Um, does anyone else want to share before we go? Sky, yay!
I'll
So
share
good.
because it's kind of a full circle thing for me. So I the photo, and by the way, this is a great exercise to look at all these photos because we kind of remember. I mean, my God, I've done as I'm looking at these photos, I think, what a year it's been. Holy
Yeah.
cow. And you
Yeah.
kind of forget, I think, until the photos are such a good reminder. And I actually it was a year ago Christmas where I got an email saying I'd been trying to get George Takei, somebody that I could interview for those of you who don't from Star Trek for this movie that I've been working on about Mochi. And on Christmas Day of last year, his husband Brad said, "Yes, we'll do the interview." After 2 years of trying to make this happen, and so I was looking through. And I saw the photo of me and George from last
Oh,
February at the interview, which was such a kick for me because I'm not starstruck very easily, but I used to watch Star Trek when I was a kid with my dad
yeah.
and my mom. And so, really, that was pretty cool. And then fast forward to just a couple of weeks ago, and I was in Santa Fe, and I have a beautiful photo of a sunrise from the Modern Elder Academy Ranch there, and we won Best Short for the Mochi movie. So in 1 year, it kind of all came
Yay.
full circle, which is kind of a neat thing. But I can't believe that that was the same year, you know?
Ah, there's so much richness to our days, even if we aren't like Totland traveling, would you say 19 different times or 12 different times? I know many of us have been, I don't know, my theory on these things is especially as we get older, it becomes more easy to say yes because I hate this image, but I'll share it anyway. But the end zone is much clearer in view, and we realize that their experiences, people, places, things that why not? It's like your to-do list can always wait, and that's one of the things I think about a lot around this time of year. Is like screw that to-do list. That's not what you should be holding on to right now as you step into 26 and go, oh, by March I have to finish this, blah, blah, blah. Um, it's remembering such a robust year like skies and the achievements, and not just the achievements. I mean the moments where you really felt like you, and you really felt like that's what you were supposed to be doing, and you got the ticket on the third row at the play in New York, or you ran into that beautiful friend that you hadn't seen forever and had a full-on day with, or your brother was successfully beating a pretty crazy cancer diagnosis. Those kinds of things come at us all the time. And what I'd like to do next, unless somebody else has a thing they want to hold on to and share with us. I want to, okay, I'm not seeing any volunteers right now. So
I do want to just jump in and say,
go for it.
Diane, I know you said you'd hate to say that, but you and I both know nobody's promised time. And we need to remember that we have one precious life. And if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? Right? So that's the reminder.
Any way possible. If it makes, I say to myself, if the idea of it makes my heart beat faster, it's a yes. But it's not a heartbeat faster fear, it's a heartbeat faster of excitement, of possibility. And I think for all of us who've been through a lot of adversity, and you can't escape it by this time in our lives, you just can't. Nobody sitting on this phone or in this Zoom has had complete easy street their whole lives. And those are part of the gifts of aging as well, is we recognize by, like you're saying, two sides of the coin, the peaks and the valleys of life are what make it feel more profound on the peak. I love to recognize this about myself, which is that I have had in my past the tendency to be, I used to call it being the worst case scenario detective. Through my corporate career, I excelled because I always knew the worst thing that was going to happen potentially, and I prevented it. You know, I'm not a surgeon. I wasn't a surgeon or anything that important, but to me, that was a finely honed skill. And over these past years, especially, I faced a really freaky cancer in 18. And I said to my daughter the other day, because she was only 15 when it happened, I said, I knew it wasn't gonna take me. But what it did do is make me realize the importance of a positive outlook on life. Now you can look at me and say, yeah, it's easy. You sound like a Pollyanna. Yeah, there's a shitstorm of things happening in my life and everyone's life and all around the world right now, every moment. But we can choose, and this is one of the things I love to think about. Each and every one of you has a positive light, like a little flashlight that you can shine out in the world for yourself and for others, to bring together, like Talik did, to bring, I love this term bras for babes, but, when she polled these women in Cuba, that's what they wanted. They wanted bras, and so anyway, we can make a difference in the world, not just in our own lives, but in other people's lives, if we hold on to the good we know is in this world and in ourselves. So I'd like to talk about the fact that this is a time not for resolution, but a time for alignment and a time for aligning with who you truly are. You discovered yourself over these years. And yeah, I can still figure more stuff out, but I want you to think about, instead of goals, instead of resolutions, all of that stuff is not necessary. So right now, I want to talk about an emotion or an energy that you want to hold on to as you move into 2026 and attach it to either the photos you've had and the moments you had, but something can be fuel to help you rise through what may challenge you as you move forward. Some examples. Aha, we've got joy. That's an easy one. Do we still have joy? Oh, there you are. People move around on the screen. Other energies could be courage, perseverance, curiosity. That's my favorite, I think. When I talk about 333 with people, they go, well, what are the women like in there? I said, well, they're all over the place in age. They're all over the place in where they live. And they've all had different kinds of backgrounds and interests, but they all have curiosity. And I think, if you do studies on brain science, curiosity and awe are two really important elements. So that would be one I would choose. I sort of showed my hand on that one. Other things you might want to hold on to are energy of calm, and peacefulness. To be a human being, not a human doing. Freedom, connection. You know, I think it's proven that we live longer if we have people in our lives that truly see us, hear us, and care for us. Connection is vital, as are all of these energies. So I'd like for you each, if don't feel put on the spot. Don't feel put on the spot, but I'd like to go around the room before we close our Zoom for the evening and throw out a word, an energy, and you can all have the same one. We know what Joy's is, but she might have another new one. So just if you don't mind, I'm going to call your name, and if you're okay to pass, just go boom. But if you want to say something, take your mic off and profess that energy. It doesn't have to be one of the ones I listed. I just was giving you a few examples. So I'm going to start with you, Gail. What's your word?
Clarity.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you. How about you, Sky?
Kindness.
Kindness. Oh, man. Eve?
Resilience.
Yes. Kelly?
Confidence.
Love that. Melissa?
Love.
Ellen?
Curiosity for what's next.
Ah. Joy?
I'm just going to use joy because I'm going to live it every day. So
I'm so happy. Jan?
Acceptance.
It's beautiful. Karen?
Focus.
Tara?
Alignment.
Alignment. You look majestic in that room, by the way. Just like queen. You look like you're the queen here. So it's nice to see you. Amy.
I'm going to say peace.
Nice. Connie, you can type yours in if you'd like. Oh, courage. She's already done that. Courage. Tanya.
Audacious.
Audacious. Woo! She's gone from saying yes to being audacious. Goodbye, Connie. Thanks for typing in. Okay, Tatlin, you've arrived wherever you were.
I alignment is my word, but it's closer to I can't find the right word yet about having the aligned energies. So it's energetic alignment. Correct.
Yeah, that's a good one to contemplate and write about also, isn't it? That's great. Now, poor Lynn has been driving the whole time. I wish we could have seen you. But if you're still hearing, tell us your word.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Self-care.
Beautiful. So I'm so grateful to you all. And I'll leave you in closing and invite and pray that the joy you didn't fully absorb, may the joy you fully absorbed this year nourish you in the future. And like the snake, what may no longer fit you fall away. And may you step into 2026 with courage and joy and love and kindness and trust in what's possible for you in this one wild and precious life, as Mary Oliver says. So I feel good. I feel joyful. I feel all your emotion. And I'm so grateful for you to be here this evening. And let's stay in touch. Hold on. And when you feel that beautiful energy waning, just flash back to this moment when you feel that joy and that kindness and that positive energy is you. Thank you for your time tonight and have a beautiful one. Let's all say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. We're so
Happy
grateful.
New
New
Year.
Year.
Thank
Happy
you
New
so
Year.
much.